fundamentally believe that blockchains are gonna make the world a better place in general? I mean, I know it's a kind of a philosophical question.
I need to think about that for a moment. I'd say no. I think because I think that making the world a better place is something that's not up to technology more. It's more about the mindset of people.
Right.
So it's more of it should be more of a spiritual journey than a technological one. I feel like actually technology can really detract people from what they're supposed to be, which we see a lot now, people just getting inside their phones more and more and make it more difficult for them to communicate with others.
I guess I'm coming from the point where, I mean, if things are decentralized, if they cannot be attacked, if the transactions cannot be fraudulent, would that make things safer?
It would certainly create an economy of trust, and that's very cool. So that means that if trust becomes the new standard in the supermarket,
right?
That means that if you do not publish your products using this blockchain, people won't really trust you anymore.
Right.
So that means that now you need to actually behave like you say you do, because other companies are using blockchain and you aren't, means consumers won't accept you anymore. And that could definitely make the world a better place, because that means that all the companies who say that, hey, I'm using fair trade and blah, 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 they will actually have to.
I think there was one, I forgot where it was, some coffee company, where the data on the coffee that's coming in was on the blockchain. So when you scan the QR code, you can basically see where it was originated, who did it, who was planning it, like all of this data that you had never access to, back in the day. So I mean, in a way, that sense, it kind of makes sense to put this data on a blockchain, right?
I think to me that is one of the bigger user cases.
Right.
Because to me, I feel like that kind of truth is, as a company, one of the most profitable things, and one of the best things about blockchain is just the fact that you can send a message to your people. It's like, hey, we're acting the way we're supposed to. And people like that. If you, as companies need to be more transparent these days, and the market demands it. And being able to have such an easy and nice instrument that people trust, because trust is the blockchain, to be able to have that resource and spread the message that you are doing this, that people respond very positively to that, and that will hopefully push other companies to adopt those same practices.
Right.
And if it will eventually, just like 10 years ago, everyone had to start following green practices and owned by the products anymore.
Right.
So now maybe that will happen with blockchain too, and that would be very positive.
So in a sense, like in a way, we can say blockchain is going to make things safer.
I would say so, actually. Yeah, sure. I mean, it takes some thinking because there's so much to consider.
Yeah.
Right? But in general, I'd say that it gives a lot of power back to people,
right?
Which is very cool, because now we can communicate and interact with each other without intermediaries that were usually involved before.
Yeah.
And I'd say that in general, most of the people are actually very happy, positive people.
Yeah.
And majority is the rule in blockchain.
Yeah.
So that means that it's going to be extremely difficult for the fraudulent ones to have a negative